Dear children, today we are going to see some numericals from dual nature of radiation and matter. Monochromatic light of frequency 6 into 10 raised to 14 Hz is produced by a laser. The power emitted is 2 into 10 raised to minus 3 watt. What is the energy of each photon in the light? How many photons per second on the average are emitted by the source? So the frequency of the light is given as 6 into 10 raised to 14 Hz and the power emitted is 2 into 10 raised to minus 3 watt. So you want to find out what is the energy of each photon in the light. Okay, so we can write the first part, energy of each photon, that is E equal to h nu. So h is the Planck's constant, so you know the value, that is the 6.63 into 10 raised to minus 34 into, what is the nu? 6 into 10 raised to 14 Hertz. So by multiplying this, you will get the answer around 3.98 into 10 raised to minus 19 joule. So this is the energy of each photon in the light. Then what do you want to find out? How many photons per second on the average are emitted by the source? So let us take, if n is the number of photons, okay, capital N is the number of photons emitted per second by the source. Okay, n is the number of photons emitted per second. Clear? Number of photons emitted per seconds. So power emitted, so we can write power emitted or power transmitted in the beam, that is P equal to number of photons emitted into energy of each photon. Okay, that is the P equal to N into E. So we can find out the number of photons emitted per second, that is N equal to P by E. Clear? So what is the power given here? That is 2 into 10 raised to minus 3 watt divided by, what is the energy we find out? That is 3.98 into 10 raised to minus 19. So you will get the answer, number of photons emitted per second is 5 into 10 raised to 15 photons. Okay, 5 into 10 raised to 15 photons per second. That is the answer. Clear? So this is the number of photons emitted per second. Okay. Question number 2. The work function of cesium is 2.14 electron volt. Find the threshold frequency for cesium and the wavelength of incident light if the photocurrent is brought to zero by a stopping potential of 0.606 electron volt. So here the work function of cesium, it is given, 50 is given 2.14 electron volt. Then you want to find out the threshold frequency for the cesium. So we have, for the minimum threshold frequency, for the minimum cutoff or threshold frequency, we have the equation energy, okay, energy h nu 0 of incident photon, energy of incident photon is equal to the work function. Clear? So we can write the first part. For the minimum cutoff frequency or threshold frequency, okay, cutoff or threshold frequency, we have the equation energy of incident photon, okay, energy of incident photon is equal to the work function 50. Okay, so we can write h nu 0 equal to 50. So we can find out the threshold frequency, okay, threshold frequency for the cesium, that is nu 0 equal to 50 divided by h. What is the 50 given in the question? 2.14 electron volt divided by h, that is 6.63 3 into 10 raised to minus 34. Then electron volt you change it into joule. Okay, that is equal to 2.14 into 1.6 into 10 raised to minus 19 divided by 6.63 into 10 raised to minus 34. So you will get the answer 5.16 into 10 raised to 14 hertz. So this is the first part of the question. That is the threshold frequency of cesium. Then second part, you want to find out the wavelength of the incident light. Okay, wavelength of the incident light if the photocurrent is brought to 0 by a stopping potential of 0.60 electron volt. So when the photocurrent becomes 0, you studied in the theory, when the photoelectric current becomes 0, maximum kinetic energy of photoelectron, okay, maximum kinetic energy of photoelectron is equal to potential energy due to stopping potential. You studied in the theory part, isn't it? Potential energy due to stopping potential. This is the formula. Okay, so we can write K maximum, maximum kinetic energy, K maximum, that is equal to potential energy due to stopping potential, that is EV0. Clear? So we can write according to the Einstein's photoelectric equation, we have the relation H nu equal to K maximum, that is maximum kinetic energy plus phi 0. This is according to the Einstein's equation. So from this relation we can find out the wavelength of the incident light. So how can you write this H nu, that is Hc by lambda. Okay, Hc by lambda, then this minus phi 0 we can take it this side. Okay, so that is equal to, what is K maximum from the above equation, that is EV0. Clear? So we can write, otherwise you know you don't want to change this minus phi 0 here, directly from this equation we can write Hc by lambda. Okay, there is no need of this equation. Anyway, we can write Hc by lambda equal to EV0. Okay, EV0 plus phi 0. Then what is the lambda? Lambda equal to Hc divided by EV0 plus phi 0. So from this equation we can calculate the wavelength of the incident light. Then we can substitute the values. So what is the H here? That is the 6.63 into 10 raised to minus 34 into 3 into 10 raised to 8 divided by EV0 is given in the question, that is 0.60 electron volt plus phi 0 also given in electron volt. So no need of changing that into joule. After finding out, that means after adding this 0.6 and 2.14, you can change it into joule. So both are in electron volt, 0.6 electron volt plus 2.14 electron volt. Then after that we will multiply this one. So we will around the answer, that is 19.89 into 10 raised to minus 26 divided by 2.74 electron volt. Now you multiply this with 1.6 into 10 raised to minus 19, then it converted into joule. Okay, so we can write 19.89 into 10 raised to minus 26 divided by 2.74 into 1.6 into 10 raised to minus 19. So after the final answer, after dividing this one, you will get the final answer, that is 453.7 into 10 raised to minus 9 meter. That we can write it as 453.7 nanometer. So this is the wavelength of the incident light. Clear? So from Einstein's equation we derived the wavelength of the incident light. Okay. Question number 3. The following table gives the values of work function for a few photosensitive metals. Sodium metal work function 1.92 electron volt, potassium 2.15 electron volt, molybdenum 4.17 electron volt. If each of these metals is exposed to radiations of wavelength 300 nanometer, which of them will not emit photoelectrons and why? So here the work function of some metals are given. First you want to find out that which of the metals will not emit photoelectrons. So for that first you want to find out the energy of the radiations of wavelength 300 nanometer. Okay, so using the formula E equal to Hc by lambda. So when you substitute the values and divide it by 1.6 into 10 raised to minus 19, you will get the answer 4.16 electron volt. This is the energy of incident photon of wavelength 300 nanometer. So here the work function of sodium metal and potassium metals are 1.92 and 2.15 respectively. So work function means the minimum energy required to emit the electrons from the metal surface. So these metals need this much energy to emit electrons from the metal surface. But the energy of incident photon is 4.16 electron volt. Okay. So the energy of incident photon is greater than the work function of sodium and potassium. So they will emit electrons. Clear? But in the case of molybdenum, its work function is 4.17 electron volt. It needs 4.17 electron volt energy to emit electrons from the metal surface. But the energy of incident photon is less than this value. So molybdenum will not emit photoelectrons. Clear? So we can conclude that molybdenum will not emit photoelectrons because energy of incident photon is less than the work function of molybdenum. Clear? Fourth question, a proton and an alpha particle are accelerated through the same potential. Which one of the two has greater value of de Broglie wavelength associated with it and less kinetic energy? Justify your answer. So here a proton and alpha particle, they have the same potential. Okay. So which one of the two has greater value of de Broglie wavelength? So you know that de Broglie wavelength lambda equal to h by p. Okay, p is the momentum. So we can write the momentum in terms of q into v. Okay, that is equal to h divided by root of 2mqv. V is the potential and Q is the charge. M is the mass. This equation you studied in the last class. So for the same potential we can write, for same potential, same V, we can write lambda proportional to 1 by root of mq. Clear? M is the mass of the proton and alpha particle. Q is the charge of the proton and alpha particle. So we can write for the proton and for the alpha particle we can write the lambda, isn't it? So that is lambda for the proton, lambda p equal to or lambda p proportional 1 by root of mpqp. Similarly, lambda for alpha, that means the alpha particle equal to 1 divided by root of m alpha q alpha. Then you divide these two equations, that is lambda p divided by lambda alpha. Okay, then lambda p divided by lambda alpha. So what happens here? This m alpha, that is root m alpha q alpha, comes in the numerator. So we can write root of m alpha q alpha divided by mp qp. Clear? So mass of the alpha particle is 4 times the mass of the proton. You know that. And charge of the alpha particle is 2 times the charge of the proton. Okay, so we can write mass of the alpha particle is 4 times the mass of the proton divided by mass of the proton into charge of the alpha particle is 2 times the charge of the proton. If E is the charge of the proton, we can write charge of the alpha particle is 2E divided by E. So, after that means after taking, that means MP and MB we can cancel and E we can cancel. Then what is remaining? That is root 8. That is equal to 2 root 2. So what do you understand from this? Lambda P equal to 2 root 2 times lambda alpha. Okay. Lambda P equal to 2 root 2 times lambda alpha, which represents what? Lambda P greater than lambda alpha. Okay, lambda P greater than lambda alpha. That is, proton has a greater value of de Broglie wavelength. Clear? Then, what is the second part? Kinetic energy. Okay, which of them has the less kinetic energy? So, we can write kinetic energy equal to Q into V. Okay, you already studied these equations. Kinetic energy equal to Q into V. So, for the same potential, okay, for the same potential, then kinetic energy is proportional to Q. Okay, kinetic energy is proportional to Q. So, we can write for the proton and alpha particle, we can write. What is that? That is Kp equal to Qp and K alpha equal to Q alpha. Okay. So, we divide this Kp divided by K alpha, that is Kp divided by K alpha, that is equal to Qp divided by Q alpha. That is equal to, what is the charge of the proton? E divided by charge of the alpha particle 2E. That is equal to 1 by 2. So, what do you understand from this? That is K alpha equal to 2 Kp. Okay, K alpha equal to 2 Kp. Okay, that which represents that Kp less than K alpha, isn't it? Kp, okay, Kp equal to, that means K alpha equal to 2 Kp, isn't it? So, Kp less than K alpha, that is proton has less kinetic energy. Clear?